Okay, so officially welcome everyone to the this slightly earlier evening session. Welcome, Karen. Nice to have you here. Kenneth, Sue, John. No, not Sue. Kenneth, Iona, John. So I think to start with, just like having a look at the quote. Just go through that briefly. That leads us nicely into the lesson. So I'm going to share my screen with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Iona, why don't you kick it off with reading the quote?
It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. And this is Aristotle Onassis.
Which is very interesting because he was a Greek shipping tycoon,
Big
one of the wealthiest men in the world in his time. And yet, it's a spiritual quote, really. It could be, this could be a quote from a spiritual teacher. Just goes to show you that, the truth is everywhere.
Yeah.
Comes to these, unlikely sources because, everyone has the same difficulties, whether you're rich or poor, whatever your status in life is, whatever these dream roles are. Ultimately, we're all looking for the light. And so whether you have a lot of money or you don't, it's actually makes no difference at all to spirit. And just make the point. But often, homeless people who have kind of let go of the material possessions and the worldly comforts, are more connected to that. There's a kind of a deeper connection with something beyond the physical, beyond the material world. And I use an example of Neil Donald Walsh. I don't know if you know his story, but he was homeless for about 9 months. He had a series of disasters. I think he had a car accident. His wife left him, and he broke his neck. Lost his job, and no social security really in the US. So ended up living in a tent for about 9 months, which would have been pretty rough. It gets really cold there in the winter. He said, believe me, a tent gets freezing in the middle of winter. It can get down to -20 there. So, but these experiences were part of what he needed to experience in order to write these books called the Conversations with God series. I don't know if you've read any of them.
Yeah.
I read them years ago. And there was definitely some kind of connection, some kind of divine inspiration coming in there, and so the series of disasters was what prepared him to write the first book, which then launched his career as a writer. And he hasn't looked back. He's written nearly 40 books and been 10 million copies of his book sold around the world. And that all came from that really tough experience where he had to go within and find the light and find a source of inspiration that was within.
Yeah.
That got him out of it. He said it took a miracle for him to get him out of it, because once you're on the street, it's really difficult to get a job because you can't wash, you can't, you don't have money, so you can't dress smartly. So then no one wants to employ you because you're starting to look and smell decidedly ropey. So then, so it took a miracle, but he kept his faith in those dark times. So there's a good example of this, in the darkest moments. And if you recall in the hero's journey is there's this dark night of the soul. It's filled with challenges and temptations, but there's this dark night of the soul idea, isn't there? That you've got to go through the challenges and temptations and through these, really dark, the abyss. It's the dark night of the soul. It's a dark time where you can feel like you've lost all hope. Things are just so terrible. It couldn't get any worse. Often at these times you wonder why you're even here. Suicidal thoughts can come in, and so on. But it's going through that and then coming out the other side that then leads to the transformation. and reminding yourself that the light is still there, even in your darkest moments. The light is still there, even if you're not aware of it. That's really the teaching. What he's asking us to do in today's lesson is simply become aware of it and accept that it's there. Accept that the light has come. I heard a talk on this by a guy called Robert Holden. You'll probably be familiar with him, John and Naomi. Quite a well-known Course in Miracles teacher in the UK at one of the Miracles Network conferences. And he kind of made fun of himself. Lovely British sort of self-deprecating humor. He says, well, I read this lesson and it was like, the light has come. He said, my version of spirituality before that was always, the light will come one day, but not today. I was looking for the light sometime in the future. One day I'll be enlightened. One day I'll get it, but not today. And so he said he found it quite challenging because this is just a direct, the light has come. It's here right now. The light is in you. The light has come. And so accept it. It's not sometime in the future. In fact, by definition, it's only now. If it were in the past or future, then it would be forever inaccessible because the past and future never come. Past is over and the future never comes. It's always now. So it has to be now. But it's just such a simple statement to kind of break the mind pattern of like, oh, the light will come. I'm looking for it. I'm seeking, that whole seeking idea of the ego and not finding. And this is saying, no, right now the light has come as an affirmation of the truth, that it's here right now in your awareness right now, which is why this is a particularly good lesson. And so at every point, in your good times and in your dark moments, you're facing serious challenges or things are going okay. It's to recognize that, well, the light has come right now. I'm still the light. And actually it's a call. The challenges are a call to go deeper into that light. Say, okay, if not my life on the level of form isn't working too well, I must go into the light and find it, and find the certainty and the peace and the love and the joy that I yearn for there. And that process of deepening your connection with the light is then the catalyst for your awakening to the light of your true self. And that really is the only purpose of the difficulties and the challenges in life. People say, well, why is life so difficult? Well, the ego sets it up that way. From the ego's perspective, it needs to have the difficulties in order to perpetuate itself, because difficulties create the limitations, limited thoughts and emotions, the contraction that then are what the ego is made up of. Those difficulties are designed by the ego to perpetuate it. But the reinterpretation of the difficulties is that they're there to help you to overlook the ego, overlook the fear and grievances and whatever other negative emotions are arising, and find this light. They're the catalyst for your awakening to your true self. And this seems to be how it works in human life. We generally don't find the light if everything's very comfortable. Because why would you look? If your life is pretty comfortable, you're in a comfort zone, nothing's really the matter, then life kind of goes on swimmingly. Although there might be some sort of underlying dissatisfaction, it's not strong enough to make you do anything about it. You just carry on in this known world. And the call to adventure comes when often it gets very uncomfortable. It's very difficult. And you go, I have to have a change now. It's not just one day, maybe, in the distant future, I'll make a change. It's like, no, I need to change now. So that's the call to adventure. That is often the circumstances of your life, the difficulties are needed in order to precipitate that call. So it's all part of the hero's journey. If you're experiencing difficulties, see it as the call to adventure that it is, and the call to go deeper into the light, into the unknown, ultimately to the death of the ego and the rebirth of your true self in your awareness. Now that is the hero's journey. That's the spiritual journey we're all on. So it ties nicely into this idea. Ties into the hero's journey as well. And remember, it's worth remembering that the only quality required by this awareness or this light from anyone is just a sincere willingness to accept it. There's no, oh, well, you don't have enough education, you haven't been good enough, you're poor. None of that applies. It's just your own willingness to accept the light of your true awareness. So it really doesn't care, what your circumstances are, what your background is, what your story is. It's available now, and it's open to you to accept it now. So it seems, obvious, but it's worth pointing these things out. The light has come seems to be a very obvious statement, but he's saying it because so many people believe the light hasn't come. The light is not here. They've denied it, and they're in the darkness, the unawareness of that true self that they really are. Mm-hmm. And then it's worth just stating again, very explicitly, that you cannot accept both the light or the awareness of love, as I translate it, and darkness, which is just the belief that you're separated from the light or the awareness of love. You can't accept both of those as true. So this whole journey is to say, well, you must choose between them. If the light has come, then the darkness is banished, because light denies darkness and darkness denies light. They contradict each other completely. So we must choose between them. And even if you think you can accept darkness and deny the light of truth entirely, and many so-called evil people in history have tried to do this, you'll never actually succeed, because the darkness cannot put out light. But when you bring in the light, there's no darkness. And you can see that just on a physical level. Light a candle. Well, no amount of darkness can put out a single light. And the moment you walk into a dark room and you switch on the light, the darkness is gone. There's light. So even on the physical level, you observe that the truth, that light drives away the darkness. And it's one or the other. You can't have dark and light at the same time. It's one state or another. This is what Jesus is saying. So it's like switching on a light. Switch on the light, the darkness is gone. Switch off the light, then the darkness seems to be real. But the darkness is merely an absence of light. Remember that. Darkness is merely an absence of light, or the absence of this awareness. When you are not aware of your own true presence, the absence of that is what creates the state we call darkness, and that's limited awareness, which puts you into another state of mind, a false awareness. You believe you're something you're not because you've denied what you are. So hence the ego's entire reality is negative. It's a negation. The darkness has no quality of its own. Right? It doesn't exist of its own. It's purely the negative of the light, which is why it's an illusion, you see. Show me the source of darkness. It doesn't have one. It's only the absence of light that defines it. So it's defined by the negation of what is. Well, that doesn't qualify it as reality, does it? There's no fundamental existence. Some people will go, well, is and is not, they're both equal. No, is not denies the isness. It's only has any kind of existence because it's denial of the light, of what is.
That's true.
Whereas the light has fundamental existence of itself. It's not defined by the darkness. You do not need the darkness to have light. But you have to have light in order to have darkness, apparent darkness, because it's the negation of that. So these are just ideas I'm giving you to just convince yourself some more that only the light is real and the darkness is not. That's really the whole point of these exercises. So if you can accept that, then the darkness is gone instantly. If you accept the light of your true awareness, you say, I am this presence, I am love, and I really accept it and I feel it, then in that moment the light has come and the darkness is no longer. The limited awareness of something else has been banished from your mind, which is what Jesus is advocating us we do. The light has come is a complete statement. It's not saying the light has come but hold on to some darkness. No, the light has come and all darkness is gone, is what he's saying. So you can see how with these lessons he's starting to get us to commit to this. So yes, I do want this. I choose this. The light has come, and by my choice, and by my intention, by just stating this, if I'm really feeling that, then the light has come indeed, because it's in my own mind. It's in my own awareness. So some people are like, well, I need to see proof. See, this is the ego's. I need to see proof. Show me the light. No, you will see it when you make the decision to see it, because it's internal. This is what Jesus is saying. Otherwise, you'll be waiting forever. Show me evidence that the light has come. People do this. They wait for their own enlightenment. They wait for someone like Jesus. The whole myth of the second coming. Jesus is going to come and he's going to save us all, because it puts the responsibility outside of your own mind. And what we have to do is take it back into our minds and say, no, actually, it's my responsibility and I must accept it now, today, this very moment. Because if I can't accept it now, when will I accept it? If I'm in the habit of deferring it, then I'll keep doing that. Oh, well, one day it will come. And of course, one day never comes. Future never comes. It's only ever now. So it's a cutting through of all that egoic defense of time, or it's going to happen sometime later. The spiritual seeking is another egoic defense, and just saying, no, I'm not seeking anymore. The light has come. So I'm a finder. By that statement, the light has come. I'm actually finding it rather than seeking it, which is what he's trying to help us to accept. Okay, so shall we read the any questions on that, on my little commentary?
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, I'll just I hope you enjoy these little blog posts, because it's just some thoughts on the lesson and the theme of the day, and to lead you in, warm you up for the lesson, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so the light has come, or translated, the true awareness has come, or the awareness of love. So again, I've translated these just for Karen. What we're doing now is there's an alternative version of each paragraph, which is in slightly grayed, and I've italicized the text that I've changed, so you can see what's been changed. So read the first one, first paragraph, original, and then read the second one. And then I think as you go, these are pretty short paragraphs, just unpack it line by line as you read the alternative. Say, yeah, this is what I'm understanding here, or if I've got any questions. Yeah. Would you like to start, Diana?
The light has come. You are saved and you can save. You are at peace and you bring peace with you wherever you go. Darkness and turmoil and death have disappeared. The light has come. Alternatively, the awareness of love has come. You are awakened and you can awaken others. You are at peace and you bring peace with you wherever you go. Limited awareness and turmoil and death have disappeared. The awareness of love has come. So I like that term, limited awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was neat.
Yeah, I think darkness. It's very poetic, and like making no sense. I quite love the light, darkness, but actually, if you're very practical, what does that mean? And I think this is too often what happens with people. They like read it, oh, lovely, I love the sound of it. It's poetry, wow. Okay, but I'm not actually really understanding what he's meaning. And it's a limited awareness. That's what it is. If I'm in a mindset where I'm thinking limited thoughts, I'm thinking fearful thoughts, I've got grievances. It's a very limited, it feels very limited.
And limiting,
Yeah.
because if you're saying, you are at peace, you can bring peace with you. If you're limiting your awareness, that's not available to you. It's not available to me if I am limiting my awareness.
And you limit it to the ego's domain of separation.
Yeah.
So separation thoughts, conflict thoughts, attack thoughts, fearful thoughts. This is then what you're limiting your awareness to.
Yeah.
And actually denying peace, and this infinite expansive awareness that is the truth of who you are. So I think it's quite a good description, and it feels that way. I mean, if you're in the ego, it's very limited and limiting, and it kind of feels contracted awareness, limited awareness. We all have a sense of what that feels like. Whereas darkness is like, well, what is, darkness is visual. What does darkness feel like? So translated into words that are more meaningful. Limited awareness, and the turmoil, causes, and death have simply disappeared.
Yeah.
The awareness of love has come.
Yeah. And with that awareness come everything else. The ability. Yeah.
Exactly. So just going to okay. So what I've decided to do is put this all into a document.
Oh, cool.
So that's how will there be light. So what I'm going to do every day is I'm going to put this into a document for you, so that you can read the alternatives. I've already done it with a lesson, but I did it with a text last night as well.
Yeah, that was so helpful. Thank you.
Did you find it helpful?
Yeah, really, really.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, let's just work with this, because if I see an error, I'll just fix it. Otherwise, I've got to go do it afterwards.
Yeah.
So we'll just work with this Word document. It's the same.
Yeah.
The awareness of love has come. Okay. So does that make sense? Let's see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
John is
yeah.
needs to be awakened. I don't know. John, hello. He's gone.
He's gone.
I don't know how we wake him up. Okay. Anyway, maybe he'll come to shortly.
Happy dream.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully. So, any comments on number one?
I'm just looking forward to seeing how he fleshes this out. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, John.
Yeah. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. Glad you could join us.
Yeah.
Welcome. So,
yeah.
Any thoughts on number one? Anyone? No.
Difficult for me to read it actually on my phone, so I'm not going to say much.
Okay.
Or definitely not read much. Okay, difficulty.
Oh, that's okay. So what I like about this is he's just saying it's a very simple statement. The light has come. This awareness of love has come.
Yeah.
You are awakened, and you can awaken others. Not sometime in the future. So it gets over this whole seeking. One day I'll get there. It's like right now, today, right in this moment, the light has come. So very direct, saying, go into that light now, rather than this eternal spiritual seeker always going, well, one day the light's going to come. The light will come in the future. Well, of course, isn't that just a classic ego device for avoiding it? Because the future never comes. The future doesn't exist. In fact, it's only ever now. So it's bringing us right into the present moment, saying it's come now into your awareness. You are awakened. Wow, it's saying accept your awakening now. And you can awake others now. And if you fully accepted that, then you're awakened. So it's that simple. If you fully got it, you fully accepted that, then you're there. There's nothing else required. Of course, what will happen probably is the ego is going to come back. If you haven't fully let it go, it's going to come back. But by claiming the awakening, by saying, yes, the light has come, and you keep doing that, you are saying it's happening now, real time. So I'm not deferring it to another time. And that, in fact, is the only way you can undo the ego, is claim it now. Accept it as a fact now. So this is instead of the seeking of the ego and, oh, well, one day it will be, you claim it now. You say, it is now. I am in that state now. And this is the most powerful prayer. The prayer of gratitude says, it's now. I'm just grateful for it. I'm grateful I have the light now. Not, I'm still seeking it and I want it. That's not true prayer. So the prayer is, I have it now, I'm in it now, and I feel it now, and I'm grateful for it now. And that is the most powerful prayer. And this is how we really, miracles happen. Because when you're in that state of mind, then what you think and speak and say and do are going to be different. And you're activating the matrix in a very powerful way from the state of light. So this is, although he's not overtly talking about manifestation at all, this is how you do it. If you really accept it now, this is true abundance. It is now. I have the light. I have infinite eternal light in me right now. This awareness, I'm in this infinite expansive state. From that state of mind, the thoughts and the words and the actions must be of a like quality. They must be much more expansive, much more peaceful. And so that then starts to change my experience of this world, my perception, my interpretation of this world. Okay, so happy with number 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so number 2. Who wants to read? Let's see if John, are you with us?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You're back.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Today we celebrate the happy ending to your long dream of disaster. There are no dark dreams now. The light has come. Today the time of light begins for you and everyone. It is a new era in which a new world is born. The old one has left no trace upon it in its passing. Today we see a different world because the light has come.
Okay, so you want to read the alternative?
Yeah, alternatively, today we celebrate the happy ending to your long dream of disaster. There are no limited dreams now. The awareness of love has come. Today, the time of the awareness of love begins for you and everyone. It is a new era in which a new world is born. The old one has left no trace upon it in its passing. Today, we perceive a different world because the awareness of love has come.
Okay, so any thoughts on that?
Well, I met my new granddaughter this afternoon for the first time, and she was born the other day, on Monday, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wonderful.
kind of, yes, thanks. And just the kind of the peacefulness of her, really. The peacefulness of a newborn.
So you had a sense of the light being in them.
Yeah, certainly a sense of peace and innocence. Yeah.
Beautiful.
How is her mother?
She's well, thanks, Iona. Yeah, she's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations. So
Yeah.
related the lesson to your experience, which is good.
Mm.
So any other thoughts on this? You got to lie again. It's a bit of humor. Number 2, today we celebrate the happy ending to your long dream of disaster.
Yeah.
You got to laugh.
But you brought upon yourself.
Your long dream of disaster.
58 years dreaming of disaster.
You got to laugh.
Oh, it is-
When Robert Holden was speaking about it, he said, well, I had a few issues with that. I was like, my dream's not so disastrous. And then he was like, okay, well, let me really look at it. He said, well, no, honestly, even if your life is reasonably functional in this world, and okay, so you have enough money and maybe you have a job and stuff's going reasonably. If you just look at the series of things that has happened in your life, you have to be honest that this is not heaven. This is not heaven at all, really, is it?
No.
It's a long dream of various disasters and then disaster management. Okay, well, I've got to try and manage that one and get over that. And he's saying, well, all of this is just your long dream, which you can bring to an end anytime you choose. So why not today? So just calling it for what it is, which is what I like. He's not pulling his punches at all in these lessons or in the whole course. And look, it's by comparison with pure formless awareness, with heaven, it's a disaster. It really is. It's so dysfunctional.
Even not by comparison, even just by comparison of it is. Look at my life, a series of
disaster. Yeah, and somehow you manage to kind of overcome these disasters, and you're still sort of here, but really it's one disaster to another. And he's just calling it for what it is, and say, just recognize it for what it is, and be willing to let it go.
Johnny, what I often sort of think about is like the way he's now expressed that. Is this woman, getting these downloads, this atheist Jewish professor woman, total cynic, writing this book. Did any of you, I don't know which one, did you listen to that link I posted? Well, I think I just sent it to you, John, and you posted it.
Yeah,
an interview
it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, just quite interesting.
Really fascinating.
And she struggled. She honestly struggled to let go. She couldn't fully accept the message that her life was a disaster. She preferred to hang on to her old identity, even though on a level she understood this was profound and meaningful, and it was the truth, and it was her life's work. She couldn't believe in it. She said, I'm in the ridiculous position of not being able to believe in my own life's work. Talk about an internal conflict of note. And eventually died of cancer, which is sort of, I guess that's what happens when you have internal conflict of that magnitude. It's gonna create illness and disease, which is what we're going to talk about later in the session, because we're talking about the god of sickness. So he's just saying, look, there are no limited dreams now. The darkness is gone. This light, or the awareness of love, as I translate it, because the light, again, it's a nice, it's very poetic, but what does that actually mean? It's not a physical light. The light is a pointer to awareness, to a true awareness, the awareness of love. So he's saying today today it begins. It's here now. Today it begins for you and everyone. It is a new era in which a new world is born. Wow. You're like, well, what makes this day so special? But he's saying, well, every day is this. If you accept it, then it is a new era. A new world is born in your perception. So the moment you change your mind, you change the world. The world exists in your perception. So the old one has left no trace upon it in its passing, because the old one is based on false ideas, old ideas that you no longer believe in. So that the perception of the world changes, and then the world changes. It's that simple. So today
Yeah, yeah.
we see or perceive a different world because the awareness of love has come. Okay, so from the awareness of love, your perception of everything changes, and so a new era is born, a new world is upon you. You've been reborn at the moment you do that. It's that simple, that direct, right now. And that's what I like about this lesson. You say, okay, well, do it right now. Don't wait. In this exercise, do it.
I've become very aware of attack thoughts on myself and others, like really chronically aware of it. I think, why are you thinking like this?
Well, it's good. Because actually what you're becoming aware of.
Becoming aware, and it's sort of like, you think, well, just let it go. Just go, because it's wrong. It's just an illusion, and it's just a perception that's wrong. It's very unhealthy. And it's really making you unhappy, disturbing your peace. So, but it's like a habit, it's a habit, it's a bad habit. But it's scary when you become aware of it. But a relief to realize it's just like really not, it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not normal. You've created it for yourself. As opposed to just living with it and just like just having all the shit in your head and actually just accepting that.
Well, you have two choices. You either accept those thoughts and you believe in them and you continue.
Or you don't accept them.
Or you don't. Yeah. So, the light has come. As I was saying, the light and the darkness deny each other. I think you missed that initial part of the section. It's one or the other. You can't have both. So you're either going to accept it or not. If you accept the light, then the darkness must go. Accept the darkness, and then the light has come. If you accept the darkness, the light must be denied. It's one or the other. So this is how the awakening happens. You become more aware of these thoughts. And it can be quite shocking. You go, oh my God, geez. Really?
How can you even think that?
How can you think that? It's terrible.
Shocking. And where does it come from? It's your thought that you've created.
Yeah, and it seems to have, some kind of power. But if you don't give it the power, and so these exercises are just about disempowering the ego. Saying, no, the light has come, there's nothing else. And so I can change my thoughts. My thoughts and my emotions are my awareness, are the light. So if I'm simply in the state of pure formless awareness and I'm feeling the expansiveness of it and I'm feeling the peace of it, this is where you want to stay. This is a happy flowing state. As soon as you go into limited awareness, you contract your thinking and you start holding a grievance. You start judging someone else. You have a fear thought. What does it do? You feel it. It's a limited thought. It's a contraction in your experience, isn't it? Which denies the light. Okay, so happy with John. You want to give a little summary of number 2, and we'll move on.
I think it's just emphasizing, well, not just, but is emphasizing that we can let go. It's in our minds to be able to let go and access the light and allow it to come, allow it to be.
Yeah, and it's a present decision. You're saying the light has come because you decide it's come. You're not waiting for someone to come or something to happen externally. It's happening because you've decided it's happening. And then the world is born anew. It's this profound, a new era. Imagine if you said, today, the new era begins. Everyone's like, oh, well, new age, and there's all kinds of prophecies of Messiah coming. No, it's right here, right now, in your experience right now. It makes it so practical, doesn't it? So personal to you. It's not out there. It's in your mind and in your experience right now, which is what I love about this lesson. So is it making a bit more sense to you? Because earlier you said I wasn't quite sure about it. It's a little bit obscure. It's not really obscure. It's very direct lesson.
Obscure, yeah, maybe obscure.
It's a very direct lesson.
Yeah,
Light has come now.
That was a very broad lesson, you know. It's like a very all-encompassing lesson.
Well, to define light as the awareness of love. Okay, so the awareness of this loving presence has come now into my awareness right now. So it's very, very specific to your experience now. That's actually what he means. That's what the light means. You see, maybe you're confused about the term light. If you define it as it's just your own true awareness, your awareness of love, this loving presence, your awareness of pure formless awareness.
It's arrived. Yeah, I mean,
it's arrived now in my experience right now.
Arrived. Let me start living.
It's not general. It's very specific. Your state of mind right now. And then, of course, it generalizes in your perception of everything.
Yeah.
So whatever I perceive now, I'm perceiving it from this state of mind, this frame of reference. So then,
it colors everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the foundation of your thought system. So your entire world, which is a perceptual world, changes because you've changed your thought system, which is why I'm saying a new era has begun. A new world is born because the world is in your perception. It's not out there. The world is as you perceive it to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so making a bit more sense to you.
Yeah. I can't actually see this. Perhaps I could read it.
Okay, yeah, by all means. Number 3.
Number 3, yeah. Our exercises for today will be happy ones, in which we offer thanks for passing of the old and the beginning of the new. No shadows from the past remain to limit our perception and hide the world. Letting go offers us. Today we will accept. It's a little bit difficult to read this. Sorry. No, it's gone off. I can't. No, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I think I lost you. I don't know if I lost you, but anyway, I can't read it. It's cut off.
Oh, okay. I scrolled it up. Does that help?
So,
is that any help?
Sorry, I can't continue on, so I can't move it over.
Right.
I was sort of zooming in and out. I don't know if there's something you can do your end.
I can zoom, yeah. I can zoom. Can take it down to 100%. Is that any better?
Yeah, okay. Let me. Oh, gosh, no, I mustn't read all this. Okay, to look at our perception. Just try it the other way. Just trying to turn my screen landscape, but it's not working.
Okay. Someone else can pick it up for you.
All right, let me just finish this one, but I won't read anymore. But awkward. Today we will accept the new world as what we want to perceive. We will be given what we desire. We choose to perceive the awareness of love. The awareness of love has come.
Okay, any thoughts on that?
Well, what stands out for me is we will be given what we desire. Because when we start perceiving in this way, we will be given what we desire. It will come to us. A pure formless awareness will come to us. It will follow. I think that's what it's.
Yeah. So, Karen, just so you know, if you like, I'll send you the link if you want to join. On have you got Telegram sorted or not?
do, yes.
Okay, so you should see it in this morning's message.
Oh, okay, in
the link
Telegram.
in there.
Because I was checking on Zoom and I don't have it on Zoom. You just check.
No, I can. It's actually really simple. This does a direct redirect. So if you go to thealg.club and you just click that link, there you go, and I will send it to you on Telegram as well. So there we go. Okay, so if you just tap that link, it'll take you in to Zoom.
Perfect.
And then rejoin us on your phone if you'd like to, because we'll do a meditation after this. Okay. So any other comments on number 3? Elaine, you were saying something stood out for you?
No shadows from the past remain to darken our sight and hide the world. Oh.
So referencing to the past. Okay, I think you're in twice now, Corin. So there we go. You've removed yourself now. Okay, great. So referencing to the past. Thanks for the passing of the old, the beginning of the new. So none of these shadows are beliefs in your mind from the past remain to limit our perception and hide the world that letting go offers us. Okay. So our conditioning from the past, these are the shadows. These beliefs we then hold on to. They color our perception of the present. We perceive everything from our past experience. Most people do anyway. And so we're not really seeing it as it is now. We're seeing it based on our past and our past beliefs, which then influence our present perception and really keep the same perception going. And then we create the same kind of future. And so this is another call to just let it go and say the light has come now. These shadows from the past don't really exist. And you actually want to accept this new world that's clean, that's free of all these false beliefs.
We were having a discussion about that sentence, we'll be given what we desire. And I was just rethinking it or re-feeling it, that what I really desire is my true self, to know my true self.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the desire of the heart. When he says will, what's your true will? It's the desire. Like, what do you truly will for? What do you truly want? What do you truly intend? But the interesting thing about this desire is you can there's no like, oh well, I can only satisfy this desire in the future. It's like right now I can have it. I desire it.
Yeah.
And by my desire, by my wholehearted desire, he said in a previous text reading, to desire wholly is to have it. You desire wholly, then that experience comes into being in your mind. So wholehearted desire, or intention, you might call it, rather than desire, brings you into the experience of the light.
So you don't need to, it's not like you need to do something you need to do or work on. Just the desire alone.
Yeah.
Will lead you to attain just the desire, the real strong, honest, earnest desire.
Yeah. Well, I was framing it incorrectly because I was thinking, what do I want? And that would mean that I was without.
Exactly, yeah.
That would mean that I was without from the start, and that's not true, because
Mm. Mm.
The light, the awareness is always here.
Mm. The paradox you see of this is that it's always there, but you've denied it. So it seems
Exactly.
not to be there. So
Yeah.
that's what we're dealing with. If
Yeah.
it was always there and you knew it was always there, we wouldn't be doing this work. You don't need to practice and learn what you already know to be true. We do it, we do the practice because we on a level we've denied it, and so it's about now accepting it back into our minds. And this is what he's talking about with the desire. The desire of the heart is, okay, yes, I want this. We use words like want. It's not really the same kind of wanting as I want a fancy car, or I want a better relationship, or I want whatever in the world. It's not that, because it's actually saying, I intend for this. He uses the word will. It's not so much want. I will for it. I intend for it deeply. This is my heart's desire. It's not the desire of the mind. It's not the ego. And in that true desire, that wholehearted desire, and we're using language to try and describe what's beyond language, then I have the state. If I deeply intend this, then that state comes into my mind because of that deep intention and sincere commitment to this. And so it's then not something that I have to defer to the future. It's here now, through my intention, through my wholehearted intention to experience it now. Then I bring it into my experience. So there's no time delay. You see, the ego, it always wants time. Well, I want something, and there's going to be time to fulfill your desire, which of course keeps you on the timeline, doesn't it? It's very, very ingenious, because you have to have time now in order to be satisfied, to satisfy your desire. And that keeps you in time. Whereas this is like, I fully intend it now, and by that full intention, I have it now, and if I can just accept that, then time is over. There's no need for time because I have it right now. The light has come. So this is a lesson that undoes the whole time delusion of the timeline, and I need to, even spiritual seekers do this. Oh, one day in the future, I'll be enlightened. One day I'll be happier. One day I'll be like Jesus was. If I keep working at it, maybe in 20 years' time. And this is just saying, no, right now, here it is, accept it. And then as you choose, as you desire, as you intend, so it will be for you right now. So we choose to perceive the awareness of love. We will to see the light. We choose to perceive the awareness of love, is how I've translated that. And so the awareness of love has come because I choose it. So by your choice, by your will, it is so. That's how it works. It's only your will, your choice to bring it into your experience or deny it. So simple, really, just so incredibly simple. And yet, we need to be taught the simplicity of it because we've complicated it and made it difficult and seemingly unattainable. So a very simple lesson like this just cuts through it. Sometimes you have the sense of him just like cutting through, just like the Gordian knot. He's just cutting through all of that nonsense and the distractions and everything the ego's done to try and confuse you, and just cutting through it with a simple lesson like this, getting you so directly into the experience of the truth. Okay, so Elaine, do you want to give a little summary of number 3?
Well, I think it's it's like, hey, well, yes, the good news, the light has come. It's here. It's right here in your midst. So you can, therefore, you're in a position to get what you desire because it's the light. There's nothing better than that. That's as good as it gets. So the past, the history, this is a shadow, is gone. There's no remnants of it at all. And you can be your true self and experience the light. at the same time. Pure formless awareness.
Yeah, and it's your
Peace.
choice today.
That's your choice.
You can make the choice, and you have that power. So it's very empowering lessons. Okay, any other comments or questions on number 3? Should we move on to 4? Okay, so number 4, it's Karen, I think. Karen, can you read for us on your phone, or see if she's still around or not? Doesn't seem like she's coming out of mute. So, okay then. Oh, there we go. Karen, can you read number 4 for us?
Sure. So our longer practice periods will be devoted to looking at the world that our forgiveness shows us. This is what we see, and only this. Our single purpose makes our goal inevitable. Today, the real world rises before us in gladness, to be seen at last. Sight is given us now that the light has come.
Okay.
Should I read the next one straight away?
Yeah, so in the alternative, just read it, and then you can stop at the end of each sentence and just unpack it. Give your thoughts on it.
Our longer practice periods will be devoted to perceiving the world that our letting go shows us. This is what we want to perceive, and only this. Our single purpose makes our goal inevitable. Today, the real world rises before us in gladness, to be perceived at last. True perception is given us, now that awareness of love has come. The awareness of love has come.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
Well, our single purpose makes our goal inevitable. Because I think it's what jumps out at me the most. I think for me personally, I'm trying to find my single purpose in this difficult time.
Well, it's we all have the same purpose. That's the lovely simplicity of the teaching.
Yes.
And that purpose is to be aware of the light in your own mind, to be aware of the awareness of love. That's the purpose, and the only purpose. So he's saying, well, if you accept that as your only purpose, then your goal's inevitable, and it simplifies things and clarifies things. You're like, okay, well, I don't need a form outcome. What's happening on the level of form doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, am I connected to this true awareness? Am I experiencing that? Am I feeling it? Or am I somewhere else? Is my awareness somewhere else? Because that's the single purpose, and that's what's primary. And if you get that right, then the secondary follows. The level of form and your experience in this world and whatever you're doing will follow from your awareness, which kind of makes sense because awareness is primary and fundamental. Does that make sense?
It does.
And then in sentence 1, he's saying, our longer practices we devoted to perceiving the world that our letting go shows us. Okay, so simply by letting go, you fulfill your single purpose. This is what he's saying. There's not many things you have to do. There's just one thing you have to do. And that's to let go of your limiting thoughts and emotions as you become aware of them. Remind yourself, this is all I want to perceive. I want to perceive the world beyond these. I don't want to remain in a state of limited awareness, of darkness. I want only this awareness of love, the light. I want to be in that experience all the time because it's a happy, loving, flowing experience. It's a good place to be. And when I deny it and I separate myself from it in my awareness, then I'm in hell, which is a helpless, enervated little life. I feel helpless. I feel afraid. I feel weak. I feel vulnerable. I feel threatened. I feel attacked, and so on and so on. And those thoughts and feelings do not make me feel good, and they don't serve me or anyone. Does it really serve me to be weak and afraid? And so through this correction, saying the real world, right? The real world, remember, is the world that's perceived from the Holy Spirit, the awareness of love, perceives everything afresh, sees everything differently, because it arises in your perception, rises before us in gladness, to be perceived at last. So you will get there finally. This true perception is given you now that the awareness of love has come. So it's a very, very simple idea, very simple teaching. All you have to do is let go of the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, and you'll be back in love's presence, and that will then direct you. Thoughts, words, actions, whatever you need to do on the level of form will come from that awareness rather than from the egoic awareness. Just how you change your life completely. It's a different operating system that you're installing here. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Questions, comments?
Not from my side, thank you.
Okay. You want to give a little summary of that, number 4?
No, I think it's actually been quite nicely summarized.
Okay, but I'm asking you to do it so that you have to. It's all about learning. Can you say, like, just in, I mean, it's a pretty simple idea, just in 30 seconds, like, okay, so what's the key point there?
I think the key point for me was the coming to our single purpose makes our goal inevitable. Because that's basically our single purpose is what we're here for.
And that is to find the light, to experience the light of our true awareness.
That's the whole thing about the lesson.
And that happens when we let go. So it's a very simple idea, very simple thought system, but then it's to apply it that is why we practice. Because the ego is the ego, especially in challenging times, is trying to give you something else. So no, you have another purpose, and take you away from this single purpose, which is to let go and find your true awareness, perceive the situation correctly. Say, no, but what about this? On the level of form, this matters and this matters, and it's all distraction to take you away from the one purpose, which is what the Holy Spirit, the awareness of love, wants you to see. So just to resist the temptation, when you notice the ego is scattering you, confusing you, you've got different goals going on, many purposes, many goals. Remind yourself, look, I only have one purpose here. It's only one thing I have to get right, which then is doable. Okay, I've just got to let it go. I can do that, yes. It's just, am I willing to do it? That's what it comes down to. Am I really willing to do it and let go of the ego, or do I still want to hang on to this ego because I'm still invested in its thought system, still think it's going to give me something, offer me something of value. And so, these lessons help us to see it for what it is, and just make the one choice to let it go and surrender it all. Okay, so number 4, happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go into some practice. So I'll guide you through a meditation. we'll say 20 minutes, and then we'll go into the text, which you don't have to stay with. I know Cara and Elaine, you both said you were tired, so text is 11 paragraphs. It'll take us probably an hour to an hour and a half to get through that. So we'll do the med, and then if you want to drop off after that, you can. How's that sound?
Great, good.
Okay, so just making yourselves comfortable. So sitting or lying down, if you want to do that comfortably. If you're sitting feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in, noticing how stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Breathing in again, blowing the stomach up like a light-filled balloon. Imagine light flowing into your stomach, into your heart center. Clench the sphincter muscle, the muscle you use to contract the flow of urine or squeeze the last drops out. Draw the energy into your heart center. And then on up into the upper chest and into your head. So maximal inhale breath, draw the energy up, pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Now scan your mind. So just look on every concept you've ever made. Jesus asks us to keep a completely open mind, washed of all past ideas, clean of every concept you've made. So if you've got any lurking, limited thoughts, maybe you're holding a grievance towards someone or something, maybe there's some fear. If you observe where this comes from, you'll notice that it's coming from false ideas, old beliefs. Will stop you from really appreciating the light of your true awareness has come. So remind yourself slowly, complete patience, the light has come. Or if you prefer, the awareness of love has come. I have forgiven the world, or I have let go of the world. The awareness of love has come. I have forgiven or let go of the world. So, with the help of your breath, exhale and just blowing it all away with the breeze of your breath. To the nothingness it really is. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here for a few moments in the peace and the stillness. The present moment. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. Just breathe in and out through the nose, relax. And be still. And recognize the light has come. And visualize light if it helps you, but it's not really about any physical light. It's in a feeling and awareness. So breathe that awareness in. this light awareness, the awareness of love into your stomach, into your heart center. Filling yourself up with the light of your true awareness. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just realize that your forgiveness or letting go entitles you to vision. Understand that Holy Spirit and the awareness of love never fails to give you the gift of sight. And the perception is true. So the light will come when you let go. Say to yourself, the light will come when I let go. Fully. So once more, breathe the light into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. Letting go and letting God is another way of saying this. Let all go, surrender it. Experience the light. Maybe you visualize a golden or white light flowing into your body, every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, compassed in the light, enveloped in the light, or maybe it's just a sense of lightness. Maybe called the unbearable lightness of being. Just nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Next minute or two of deep silence, just let go, surrender into the light. Say to yourself, the light has come, the awareness of love has come. So tell your source, you know you cannot fail because you trust. Trust in it. Understand that the awareness of love never fails to give you the gift of true perception because you've chosen to let go. Sinking inwards, down deeper into your mind to the place of light beyond the world. You have let go all your mental and emotional attachments to the world. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Light has come. I have forgiven the world, or I have let go. Let go of everything. I surrender into the light of my true awareness. So just for a couple of minutes of deep silence, be still, be quiet. No, you cannot fail because you trust in the light, source of love, the awareness of love that's eternal. Tell yourself you wait in certainty to look upon the world it promised you. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do. Just wait patiently. Knowing that all true desires, all true requests are met. Sinking inwards with each passing breath, just breathing in and out through your nose, observing the breath, subtle sensations of the breath in your nostrils, and the touch of the breath in your nostrils and the area just below the nose. Notice how peaceful and calm and restful. Sinking inwards to the light of your true awareness that has come. Say that idea one more time to yourself, or the alternative form. The awareness of love has come right now, not sometime in the past or future. Any thoughts arise that seem to limit your awareness, pull you back into darkness. Observe the thought, observe the emotion. Remind yourself that the light or the awareness of love has come into the situation right now. Cannot exclude it. The light has come. The awareness of love has come. I have forgiven the world, or I have let go of the world. So if you observe any blocks to the awareness of love's presence, just observe what they are. And so just gently coming back, this deep state connection with the light, bringing awareness back into the body, senses, and the world. But as you do this, you're going to maintain the connection with it. If it really is the foundation of your mind, of your being, then how can you be without it? It goes with you wherever you go. So, count of 3 now. You open your eyes. So, 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And you're breathing in, noticing the energy rising up the spine, clenching the sphincter muscle. Full breath in at the top of the inhale. Pause, scan your mind, notice any thoughts, any emotions, sensations going on, particularly anything that feels limiting, limiting, contracted, constricting. So if there's anything there, just notice it, observe it, and remind yourself the light has come. I have forgiven the world, or if you prefer the alternative version, the awareness of love has come. I have let go of the world. So exhale, just blow that energy away. The breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. Pull the lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. So notice the energy in your body has subsided back down from to the lower stomach and the groin, noticing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair or sofa, noticing what you're feeling with your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Notice that and notice what you're hearing, surrounding environment. Noticing all these things from this very still, calm, and surrendered state. Find yourself nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just be present in the light, because the light has come. This awareness, love's awareness, is your true awareness. So feel it, anchor this state in so you can carry it with you for the rest of the session and the evening on into your weekend. So it is said, so it is done. So just noticing the count of 2, the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground, noticing what you're feeling. There's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose, and notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Without any judgment, these are just and just there, just aware without judgment. Notice how peaceful that feels. This peaceful state, this lack of limitation and contraction, is the awareness of love. This is the light that has come. So noticing what you're hearing, touching, feeling, without any judgment. This roots this light of true awareness into your mind so that you don't go back into judgments based on sense perceptions. You stay rooted in the loving, peaceful state that is the truth of you. So breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises, chest rises, and on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes, just taking a minute to look around, observing objects, people, things in the room, in this very peaceful state. If you've let go of any judgment of them, any misperceptions, you start to notice is that this light of true awareness underlies it all. It's always there, always available. This is who you are, this is what you really are. And you stay rooted in that. So that's what I wish for you. If you're leaving us, stay in the light, stay in this awareness of your true presence, your love. To do that, you can practice the shorter practice period. Jesus recommends doing this frequently, 4 times an hour. Saying the light has come, I've forgiven the world. Particularly if someone tempts you to go into darkness, into a limited thought. Say to the person, the awareness of love has come, and so I have let go of my judgment of you. It's what I've forgiven you means. And then you just blow it away with the breeze of your breath. So I've given you some short breath breaks to help you practice that, as well as instructions to do it in under a minute. So practice it a couple more times as needed before you go to bed, and that should keep you in the serenity that comes from this true awareness, which is what I wish for you. So that brings us to the end of the meditation, in the first part of the session on the lesson. So everyone's still with me? John?
Yeah, I'm still here.
There. Iona, great. Karen, are you going to stay with us, or you're going to leave us now?
No, I'm going to leave. Thank you. That was awesome.
Good. Well, you hope it sets you up for a good evening, and you've got the recording. I'll come send it right now, so you can.
Don't knock you this way.
So you can listen to it again if you need to top yourself up before bed, and hope to see you soon. Join
Okay,
us.
thank
Join
you.
us on Sunday if you can. So Sunday, just to let you know, looking ahead, we're going to do an afternoon session. I'm going to go to Patricia's house, just up the road from you, Corin. So if you want to join us,
Okay.
you're most welcome. Yeah. Did you ever get the book back to her, by the way?
I did. I couriered it back to her.
You did.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So if you'd like to join us, come in person or join online. We'll probably be starting it a bit earlier, 2:00. Just
Okay.
because Hazel wants to get back before it's dark. So, but I'll put that all on the group.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks. Good night, all.
Okay. Thanks, Corin. Great.
Cheers. Bye.
So are you going to Elaine? Are you going to stay with us? See if Elaine is with us. Or she's dropped off maybe.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, no, thanks, Jono. That was really wonderful. And but I am just going to log off now. I won't see you on Sunday because I'm not available.
Okay.
But I am tapping in all the time, as you know, and thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll see you when we see you, and
Okay.
speak next week maybe about the other stuff.
Good. Okay.
All right. Thanks for
Good
joining.
night, Ellen, John. Nice to see you both.
Okay.
Good night.
Right.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. So.
Okay. I thought it was going to be an evening session on Sunday.
No, I just decided to do an afternoon one because we haven't done one for a while, and some people like Karen doesn't really like joining in the evening. It gets too late, so if that's okay, if you can make it at 1 o'clock, does that work or?
I was hoping to go. I was hoping to walk on Sunday afternoon, but it's about priorities, isn't it? I mean, and this is a priority, so.
Yeah, I guess, you can always catch the recording if you don't want to do the live session, but
sure.
I mean, I just do an afternoon every now and then so other people can join. You can obviously do it in the evening. Okay, so let's get into the text, shall we? So this one is called The Guide of Sickness. Or I've translated The Belief in Sickness, because really that's what a guide is. It's a belief.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've done the work for you. It took me quite a while. Okay, I'm going to do this every day. It's another like easily half an hour in my day. But if I don't do it, it's never going to get done. So I think I'm gonna give it a go and.
Well, it's a great start on your plan to rewrite or retranslate.
Well, exactly. This is the only way it's going to happen. It's like it's like just bite-sized chunks. If I'm doing a lesson and a section of the text every day as we go, then by the time we've worked through it, I'll have done from chapter 10. I've done 2/3 of it. And then when we recycle back into the next year, I'll do the rest.
Amazing.
Next year. And also then there's something I suppose that's unique about the art of letting go, because this is where you get it. This doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's also
exactly.
There's many course teachers, and some people say, well, the course is free. Yes, it is. You can get the standard version free online, but this version you won't, because it's my translation based on an understanding that's come over many years. I certainly probably couldn't have done this even 10 years ago. It's based on understanding of these ideas and concepts. It's largely evolved out of this. Actually, I don't think I would have done this if you just read it on your own. You're not going to do it, but it's evolved out of this process of teaching and trying to really just make it as clear as possible. I think that's the idea. So change the language
that's
and
great.
maybe it just clarifies things. So yeah, let's see how we go. This one there's quite a lot of translation to do. So Iona, if you want to kick it off, read the first paragraph. And then we'll read the translation and then unpack it on the second reading in the translation.
Okay. The God of Sickness, or the belief in sickness. You have not attacked God, and you do love him. Can you change your reality? No one can will to destroy himself. When you think you are attacking yourself, it is a sure sign that you hate what you think you are. And this and only this can be attacked by you. What you think you are can be very hateful, and what this strange image makes you do can be very destructive. Yet the destruction is no more real than the image, although those who make idols do worship them. The idols are nothing, but the worshippers are the sons of God in sickness. God would have them released from their sickness and return to his mind. He will not limit your power to help them because he has given it to you. Do not be afraid of it because it is your salvation. Alternatively, you have not attacked love, pure formless awareness, and you do love it. Can you change your reality? No one can will to destroy himself or herself. When you think you are attacking yourself, it is a sure sign that you hate what you think you are. And this and only this can be attacked by you.
Okay, do you want to pause it there?
Okay.
Unpack it as we go. So you have not attacked love,
No.
pure formless awareness, and you do love it.
You love it.
Actually, it's pointing out the truth.
You do love it, but can you change your reality or your perceived reality? No one can will to do. I don't want to kill myself off or destroy myself slowly. But if I'm attacking myself, when I attack myself, when I think I'm attacking myself, it's a certain sign that I hate what I think I am, whilst also loving the pure formless awareness. So I'm split here, aren't I? This is dual thinking.
So this image of yourself can be attacked by you.
Right. And this is about idols, isn't it? The God of sickness, the belief in sickness. I've made an idol I can attack and throw stones at. So I've made this idol in my mind, this thought of me. And this and only this can be attacked by me. This idol I'm dreaming up. What you think you are can be very hateful, and what this strange image makes you do can be very destructive. So it's about images and idols and false thought and miscreation, all going on alongside love. It's so split.
It's like a parallel reality in your mind, which then seems to be, if you're thinking those thoughts, that seems to be your reality then. And love of pure formless awareness seems to be denied.
Yet the destruction is no more real than the image, although those who make idols do worship them. Right, so I've made an idol of the image of who I think I am, which is very hateful. These images, these idols are nothing, but their worshippers, i.e. me, is the true extension, is the extension of love in sickness. The sick me is on one hand the extension of pure love, but I am sick in my belief that in worshipping this idol, this image of sickness.
It's worth looking at the derivation of the word worship. It actually means give worth to, worthship. That's where worship comes from. So you give value, in other words. So what we're going to do as we go along, if we feel like we want to do some other translation, we can do that, because that then means that we've done this. So we could change that if you want. Those who make idols do worship them. Those who make idols do give value to them.
Give them worth. Okay.
Yeah, maybe give worth to them. Kind of makes it give worth.
It really ties in with the word.
Yeah. To give worth to them. And so hence we give them worship and we worship them. But and idols, quite difficult to translate idol. Those who do make idols. It's really it's a false belief. You make idols, do give worth to them. Idols are nothing but they're worshippers of the extensions of love and sickness. Let's just have a look. What was our translation of? Let's have a look.
Like a false worth.
An idol. Let's see. Do we have idols in here? GFGHI. No, we don't have idols. So shall we define idols? I think idols. Idol is. Hang on, it's just dropped off. Hopefully she'll come back. There we go. So an idol is a belief in separation. Part of the belief in separation. Belief in separation may be projected onto a person or physical thing that is given worth in the worshipper's mind. Something like that. You happy with that?
Yeah. Strictly speaking, John, it should come up before inspiration.
Yeah. You're correct.
True.
Get it in the right order. Inspiration.
Maybe project person or
So
physical.
idol, and if we want to put that translation into here, those who make false beliefs, would you say, instead of idols? Does that work?
Yeah, I think that can work.
I would replace thing with form.
Those who do make false? What were you saying? You'd replace what with form?
Or out there, I would replace thing with form, a physical thing.
Yeah, the form. Yeah.
Replace it with physical form.
Yeah, or physical form. The personal physical form is given worship in the person's mind, worshipper's mind. Instruction is no more real than the image. Those who make false beliefs do give worth to them. You happy with that? Idol is a false belief.
Yeah.
Do give worth. Okay, so the false beliefs are nothing, because really it's not the thing. The thing itself is not an idol. Like you could say, well, what about all the material forms? What about a person? And that's not the problem. It's your perception of them. It's the belief that you give to them that's the problem.
Yeah.
The false beliefs are nothing. But their worshippers are the sons, are the extensions of love or pure formless awareness in sickness. Okay, so the sickness is the false belief. That's really what he's saying.
Yeah. Okay. Love, formless awareness would have been released from their sickness and return to its awareness. This is the wholehearted desire of to be released and return to full true awareness. It will not limit your power to help them because it has given it to you. Do not be afraid of it because it is your awakening. So just like in the lesson, the full pure awareness is absolute power to help, to save in the full knowledge of pure formless awareness. Don't be afraid of it because it is part of your awakening, and that involves awakening others.
Not be afraid of it because it is your awakening. Yeah, and you have the power to awaken anyone from this dream of false idols, false beliefs, by demonstrating that you can believe in something else. You can believe in your true awareness, in love, instead of these false beliefs, and the manifestations of those false beliefs are really the problem, because we project it onto things in the world. And we say, well, it's, that's going to be my salvation. Money or possessions or special relationships. And these are really just beliefs in nothing. If we're believing in nothing, then we're sick in our minds. This is the source of sickness. Okay, so you want to give a little summary of that paragraph and we'll move on?
Well, it was he's saying I'm believing in two realities, the absolute pure formless awareness inside, but when I attack myself, this is very strange. It's an image that I'm thinking and dreaming up an idol to destroy, and I'm sick in that belief. Pure formless awareness would have me released from my sickness and return to awareness, and in that awareness is the power to awaken others.
Yeah. So these beliefs are really nothing.
Beliefs are nothing.
Beliefs are nothing. It's all just coming from this very strange image in our minds that now has to believe all these false things and create a state of sickness, which is in the mind. He's pointing very clearly to the sickness being in the mind. It's as a result of the false beliefs, of the value we give to the beliefs. The beliefs are nothing, but when we give them value, then we create sickness. That's really so it doesn't matter that the world is filled with false beliefs. People can believe whatever they want to, but the question is, do you believe them? That's all that matters. So you can go to a place like London, like you did. People can be in a false belief system, but if you don't buy it, you don't believe it, then so what? It doesn't have any effect.
Which means that we can go anywhere with impunity, with love inside.
Yeah, exactly. God goes with you wherever you go, and so you could be in the darkest place, the most delusional place, and yet if you don't believe in it, you might have times where you have to stand for that and say no, which is then the test, but you don't have to. No one can force you to believe anything. It's only your own temptation, really. And we struggle with the temptation to still believe in that thought system. And I think that's what you wrestled with a bit. It's like, have I really let this go? Is there still a part of my mind that's still kind of attracted to it, that still thinks it has worth and value and I should be doing this?
I think it was the last thing that should be doing. The whoa, have I really missed the boat? Who am I kidding? That I can make this work here.
Mm.
Yeah. It was weird because why don't I feel as bad as these people do?
Yeah.
Right. Were they all rather depressed?
Yeah, life was heavy for most people I met, I have to say.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and then somehow the ego saying, "Well, join me. Join me in the sickness. This is good. Sickness is good. This is somehow functional. This is working." It's crazy, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so happy with number 1.
Yeah, indeed.
Move on to number 2.
What comforter can there be for the sick children of God except his power through you? Remember that it does not matter where in the sonship he is accepted. He is always accepted for all. And when your mind receives him, the remembrance of him awakens throughout the sonship. Heal your brothers simply by accepting God for them. Your minds are not separate. And God has only one channel for healing because he has but one son. God's remaining communication link with all his children joins them together and them to him. Be aware of this is to heal them because it is the awareness that no one is separate and so no one is sick. Or what comforter can there be for the sick extensions of love, pure formless awareness, except his power through you? Remember that it does not matter where the extension of love, pure formless awareness. Remember that it does not matter where in the extension of love, pure formless awareness, it is accepted. It is always accepted for all. And when your mind receives it, the remembrance of it awakens throughout the extension of love, pure formless awareness.
Yeah, we'll just stop there. Let's unpack the first. Make
Yeah,
sense?
so what he's saying here is that the comforter is the power of pure formless awareness coming through us.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter where in the where it's coming from in the illusion or in the world. It's his power that comes through. So it's his power that is there which is there to be accepted.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter where he is accepted where in the sonship he is accepted.
Hmm.
Yeah, just going back to number 1.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter where it's happening, as long as it's happening.
Yeah, and it's always accepted for all. So you accept it for yourself.
Yeah.
You're actually accepting it for everyone. And this is how the mind of the seemingly separated sun or extension, it's fragmented off. This is how it unifies back into oneness, because it's accepted by each mind for the whole mind. As each mind does this, chooses oneness over separation, it's choosing it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, your choice then can inspire others to choose the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much by example, this, isn't it? I think the whole these paragraphs. It's always accepted for all, and when your mind receives it, the remembrance of it awakens throughout the extension of pure formless awareness. So when one accepts it, then we all benefit. Heal your brothers simply by accepting love, pure formless awareness for them. Your minds are not separate. And love, pure formless awareness has only one channel for healing, because it has but one extension. Love's remaining communication link with all its extensions joins them together and them to it. It's interesting that he's got this idea of the communication link coming in here.
Yeah, and that's capitalized. So
Yes.
remaining communication link is the Holy Spirit, or the awareness of oneness.
Yeah.
Yeah? Communication link.
So I mean, what I'm seeing that as being is the channel of communication between all of us, including pure formless awareness or the
Well,
awareness.
it's love's remaining communication link with all its extensions. So it's what links us back to that presence, without which we would be lost forever. There was no link back to it. How would you get back to it? Think of a chain, without or a good analogy is a maze. You go into a maze, and anyone will tell you, well, the way to do it is go in with a ball of string and unwind it as you go, so that you've got the link back out of the maze. So the Holy Spirit's like the string communication link, remaining communication link, which is then our connection back to source. It gets us out of the maze and back home. Okay, should we include communication link here as the Holy Spirit? Maybe we should just include it here. Holy Spirit, remembrance of oneness, the reinterpret of the dream form from perspective of oneness, turn the mind to perfect awareness of God and Spirit. The remaining communication link between love and its separated extensions. Okay. So yeah, and then just the last couple, and then do you want to give a little summary, John?
Yeah. Your minds are not separate in love. Pure formless awareness is only one channel for healing because it has but one extension. Love's remaining communication link with all its extension joins them together and them to it. To be aware of this is to heal them, because it is the awareness that no one is separate, and so no one is sick. So what he's saying through this paragraph is that love's power, when received by one, is received by all, because we are all, because there is this communication link between us that joins all of us. You might say, I suppose, that negative thoughts affect all of us because in the same way, but you couldn't say that because they don't exist.
Oh, and he says negative thoughts can't really be shared.
No.
So they separate us. So the whole delusion is that they make us separate. So sickness, makes us seem separate from those who are not sick. So there's no sharing there. It's why the ego's thought system is inherently weak, because sharing unity is power. Of course, it's dedicated to fragmenting and separating. So pretty simple. He's just saying love has a remaining communication link with all of its extensions. You're one of those, and it doesn't really matter who's accepting it. It's accepted for everyone.
Yeah.
So you simply accept the love, pure formless awareness for them in your own mind. So don't try and heal them directly. Say, there's so many people who's sick, and we need to heal. No, accept the love in your own mind, and then you are doing it for everyone.
Yeah.
Then you're uniting your mind
Yeah.
with your source and with everyone, and you're inviting everyone to join you. And then that, on the level of form, plays out in different ways. You might say something, you might do something that teaches this to one person, to many people. It doesn't really matter. So that's the beauty. He's saying it doesn't matter. Like, you do this to one person, you do this to many people. If you only ever teach this to one or two people in your life, but you're doing it sincerely, it doesn't matter, because the correction in your mind is being done through that process. So it's going beyond the quantum of like, well, we've got to save the world, or we've got to wake everyone up, because it's not a quantity thing. This is purely quality. It's like, do this, share it, but in the doing of it, you are healing your mind and you're healing the minds of others, and that's really the only thing that matters. And this then, how this plays out on the level of form, and how many people wake up sooner, and how many people are sick, and how many people, you don't get sucked into that. It's just like, let me do it. When I do it for everyone, and then I allow myself to be guided as to what to do from this state of unity, of healing, how I extend this to the sonship. And I'm taking the guidance, and it's one by one. Sometimes it's a very individual, personal thing. I used to sort of have the thing of like, well, 1,000 people's better than 100 people. 100 people's better than 10 people, and that's really not the case at all. So I've been in big conferences and seminars and stuff, and hundreds or thousands of people, and just you going, well, there's no truth here. It's illusion. So is that of any value then? 1,000 people learning an illusion? Not really. Or 5 people learning the truth. So it's a different way of thinking about it. Quality, not quantity. Okay, happy with number 2, John?
Yeah.
So number 3.
To believe that the Son of God can be sick is to believe that part of God can suffer. Love cannot suffer because it cannot attack. The remembrance of love, therefore, brings invulnerability with it. Do not side with sickness in the presence of the Son of God, even if he believes in it, for your acceptance of God in him acknowledges the love of God he has forgotten. Your recognition of him as part of God reminds him of the truth about himself, which he is denying. Would you strengthen his denial of God and thus lose sight of yourself? Or would you remind him of his wholeness and remember your Creator with him? Alternatively, to believe that an extension of love, pure formless awareness, can be sick is to believe that part of love, pure formless awareness, can suffer. Love cannot suffer because it cannot attack. The remembrance of love, therefore, brings invulnerability with it. Do not side with sickness. Yeah.
We'll stop there and just unpack it.
Well, if I forget that I'm an extension of love, I also forget that love is invulnerable and therefore I believe it can suffer, which, after everything I understand, is obviously not true. Yeah. Pure formless awareness. It cannot suffer. It cannot suffer, and it cannot attack. Therefore, I cannot suffer, and I cannot attack. And therefore, in remembering this, I am invulnerable. Yeah. Do not side.
Pretty clear there, I think.
Do not side with sickness in the presence of an extension of love, pure formless awareness, even if he or she believes in it. For your acceptance of love, pure formless awareness in him or her acknowledges the love of pure formless awareness he or she has forgotten. So if I see past the apparent sickness that's presenting in this person, then I am acknowledging a belief in separation and condemning my sister to a brother, to where am I condemning it? Just that I'm not recognizing her as love as I am, which means I believe in a duality.
Yeah.
Because she is me and I am her. Okay. Your recognition of him or her as part of love, pure formless awareness reminds him or her of the truth about himself or herself, which she is denying. Yeah. Exactly. That I remind her of her limitless power and strength as she is an extension of pure formless awareness. Would you strengthen his or her denial of love, pure formless awareness, and thus lose sight of yourself? So would I attack myself by losing sight of her? Or would you remind him or her of her wholeness and remember your source with him or her? I feel like just saying, yes, I would.
Exactly, that's what he wants you to do. Would you just remind, and I've put in the masculine. I mean, it does make it longer, him or her, but I think it's meaningful because it's kind of taking it out of that masculine gender and saying, look, this is in this world we have males and females, and some in between as well, but him, her, or it.
Exactly. Are you going to produce gender-free translation?
Well, you're either a him or a her. You might have been a him and then you become a her, but it's unfortunately with language you kind of have to, there's no it.
Of course. You have to decide what you're doing.
The person is not an it. So it's with him or her. But
we already have a lot of it.
Yeah, we already have a lot of it. It refers to love, formless awareness. Him or her refers to a brother or sister. So yes. I could change it to brothers and sisters, I suppose, but his or her.
No, this is his or hers. She, him. Okay. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, good.
It switches something in me. Yes, it does.
No, well, that's the only reason to use it. It's longer, as you can see. That's that's now extended by 2 sentences, or 2 lines compared with the original. But the idea is it gives you more of an insight into. It's like more depth to the paragraph than the original. That's the only reason to do it. So if that's the case, then we'll keep doing it.
So I think to sum it up, it's remember your invulnerability, remember your pure formless awareness. Do not side with your brother's belief in separation. Remind that body that person that they are also joined with me in pure formless awareness.
Yeah. And you do that by example, just by the way you carry yourself. So, I'm sure you went to London, your presence was not unnoticed. People were like, okay, Iona's got it's different, isn't it? It's not It's not what they used to.
It's funny, my friend of 40 years, she would have banged on certain points, but I was aware of her just falling silent sometimes, which was nice.
So maybe
So
just
yeah.
brought her into that some of that awareness.
Mm.
More so than they would have been. And that's all you can do.
Bit more.
That's all you can do.
True.
If someone's open to more, then by all means, then of course you're gonna help them on their path. But all you can do is be the presence of love in whatever situation, and leave it at that. Like, okay, well, that's what I did. I was love, and I did what I should have done, and it's up to them how deeply they want to go into this. Everyone's got seeming free will. We have choice as to when we're going to learn the curriculum.
I just remembered what I did. I left them a leaving gift on their table of candles. I said something about light in my message.
Okay.
It hasn't occurred to me until now.
No. Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, hopefully, these little things. It's just bringing in the light, bringing in love, however you can, into the interaction. And remember, the whole point of this is to correct your own mind. You are healing your own mind primarily, first and foremost. The danger of the unhealed healer is always focusing externally and saying, well, no, this person needs to get it. This person needs to get it. Well, what about you? And what about you first? And then, it will come. Your healing can come as an extension of who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
But do it first for you. So that's primarily what the course is about. And then you do it for you, then you extend it out. That's part of your own healing. It's also the healing of your brothers. And really, on the level of form, it doesn't really matter what the outcome seems to be, because it's all on the mind level that's important. If you are consistently in this presence of love, then you're healing your mind and you're healing the sonship, and that's all you can do. How that plays out with individuals on their journey and how quickly they wake up, and well, that's really not your business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of very relaxed. Okay, all I have to do is show up, be the presence of love, do what I feel inspired to do, and that's it. It's there's no expectation on the level of form of what should happen. Kenneth, any thoughts?
Yeah, I try to live hard.
But when you're working, you just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I surprise always
yourself.
new surprise. It's wonderful.
And show up in the intention to be truly helpful in any situation. That's why that helpfulness prayer. So how can I be truly helpful here? Really, and if you ask yourself in every situation that question, then you're doing what you can do. And that's all you can do. Be truly helpful. That might just be being very quiet. It might be saying a word. It might be doing something. Who knows? But if you have the intention, then he's saying that the Holy Spirit, the awareness of this loving presence, will guide you to be truly helpful, and it's all going to be part of this plan of that 1 month that's working all the time for the healing of everyone, and then you're playing your part in the plan, and the ultimate salvation of everyone. Well, that's up to them and the Holy Spirit. So you just do your part.
Exactly.
Relax and just let go into that. I'll just do my part, and it's all fine. And whoever will get it, will get it. And if it's not welcome, then well, that's okay too. As Jesus says, if you don't want to be like me, then I'll just wait until you change your mind.
Mm.
No.
At some point, people will change their mind. Just might take them quite a while to do that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so happy with number 3.
Mm.
Number 4, John.
To believe a son of God is sick is to worship the same idol he does. God created love, not idolatry. All forms of idolatry are caricatures of creation. Taught by sick minds, too divided to know that creation shares power and never usurps it. Sickness is idolatry because it is the belief that power can be taken from you. Yet this is impossible because you are part of God, who is all power. A sick God must be an idol made in the image of what its maker thinks he is. And that is exactly what the ego does perceive in a son of God, a sick God, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious and very vulnerable. Is this the idol you would worship? Is this the image you would be vigilant to save? Are you really afraid of losing this? So alternative D. To believe an extension of love, pure formless awareness is sick is to worship the same idol he or she does. Love, pure formless awareness created love, not idolatry. All forms of idolatry are caricatures of beingness.
So that's how I translated creation.
Yeah. Taught by sick minds, too divided to know that beingness shares power and never usurps it.
Yeah. So I'm going to pause it there. Just unpack this. Translate idol as false belief. To believe an extension of love or pure formless awareness is sick is to worship the same false belief he or she does. And that false belief is the belief in separation.
So, I mean, what he's saying here is if you give in to the ego's way of thinking, you will start to worship false idols. And they are not part of love. They are not part of beingness. They're just caricatures of beingness. And will lead nowhere.
No, not belief in idolatry as belief in what is false. Not false belief. You're happy with false belief as a translation of idols and idolatry?
Yeah, I think so. Idol beliefs. Yeah, well, idolatry. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
An idol it's the same idea as an image. That's where it comes from. So the language is an image, an idol in your mind. All forms of false belief. So all forms of the false belief in separation are caricatures of beingness as opposed to creation. Does that kind of resonate with you?
Caricatures of creation.
Yeah.
Creation he uses to refer. Yeah, it's like what he's really referring to is what's eternal. He's not referring to something that was created. Creation is this fundamental beingness we have. So it's a caricature of being or beingness. being, maybe. But I quite like beingness. What do you think?
I prefer beingness.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works for me. Creation, beingness.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm doing market research here. I'm like, okay, does that actually work? Does it make sense as we go? Which
Yeah.
is great. So we'll just do the
Yeah.
translation together. Caricatures of beingness taught by sick minds, too divided to know that beingness shares power and never usurps it. Well, that makes sense. If it's being, then it simply shares its being, and it never usurps it. It doesn't say, well, I exist and you don't.
Yeah.
Whereas sickness is idolatry. Sickness is false belief. Again, I think people, idolatry, what does that actually mean? That actually means false belief. Because it is the belief, as he says there, that the power can be taken from you.
Power can be taken from you.
And somehow this beingness can be taken away.
Creation.
So it's a crazy belief system. You think, how can my fundamental beingness be taken away ever? I mean, I just wouldn't be then. And yet, in my mind, this seems to be possible. Yet this is impossible because you are part of love or pure form, which is all power. Okay? So you are part of that. You cannot remove yourself from it. You cannot undo your true awareness, your true beingness. Not possible. Which is all power. Okay, do you want to continue, John? Number 6.
Yes. A sick God must be an idol, made in the image of what its maker thinks he is. And that is exactly what the belief in separation does perceive in an extension of low pure forms of awareness. A sick God, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious and very vulnerable. Is this the idol you would worship? Is this the image you would be vigilant to save? Are you really afraid of losing this?
I think I'm going to leave the small God there. Not quite sure how to translate that as sick. It's really something you value. That's what he refers to as a God. Sick. A sick belief must be a false belief, made in the image of what its maker thinks he is. Could translate God as belief, I suppose. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Sick belief, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious, and very vulnerable. Yeah? Belief in God? Makes sense?
Yep.
What we're trying to do really is point it so directly to the mind. I think that's the value of a translation. Okay, so that, these terms only refer to an aspect of mind. It's all about belief. So let's just get very, very direct. A sick belief must be a false belief. Made in the... Is it helpful to italicize this stuff? The translations. If I italicize the words that are translated, so that you can see what was translated.
Uh-huh.
I think if you're going to do it, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're going to do the whole thing. It's like we need to get the. Okay, I don't want to have to do it again. It's like
no.
Let's get it right first time. Well, I suppose next year you come around again, you just tweak it if necessary, just change it. But let's try and get it, thorough job. So a sick belief self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious, and very vulnerable. Is this the idol you would worship? Is this the belief you would value? Is this the image you would be vigilant to save because it's a false self-image? Are you really afraid of losing this? Because he's just saying this is just a sick belief, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious and very vulnerable. And is this what you would value? Is this what you want to save? Are you really afraid of losing this? Okay, and really good question. Make us ask, and the answer's obvious.
Yeah, it is obvious.
When he sets it up like this, it's like, well, oh yeah, no, actually, no.
Yeah.
I don't want a sick belief. I don't want to be sick. When you put it this way, then it becomes, the choice becomes obvious, which is what he's
Yes, it's like,
help us with to make the
it's like,
choice.
yeah, now you come to mention it, that's a no.
Yes, yeah. So let me be very conscious about, no, it's a no. I'm not going to believe in this in any way, shape, or form. And we've actually got this here. God's beliefs in any idea of separation related to time and space, related to form, usually related to the world of form, that replace the idea of perfect oneness as your guide in life. So God or an idol. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Good.
Beliefs in any idea of separation. So your gods, and he talks about, okay, so these are the beliefs that you then value and worship, and those are held up in place of your belief in oneness.
Yeah.
Alternative.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so John, I want to just summarize number 4 and we'll move on.
I mean, it's saying that beware of going with the ego, because you will end up following false beliefs, be lured into false beliefs, and these are not part of it's not where we want to be. It's
No.
feeding into sickness.
Yeah. False beliefs create the sickness. Very vicious. So he's talking about sickness, but it's not of the body. Sickness is in the mind.
Mm.
It will then play out on a body level, but it's all about the mind. Coming from the sick belief in separation. And if you believe, for me, what stands out there is this first one: to believe an extension of love or pure formless awareness is sick, is to worship the same false belief he or she does.
Yeah.
If you actually believe that they're sick, you worship the same false belief. So you can empathize, but don't sympathize. Don't go, oh, shame for you. You're sick. It makes it real for them and you. Which one needs to be vigilant of in these times of global pandemics and stuff. To just remember, look, actually, it's all a projection of a false belief. Massive false belief. It's the idol of sickness, the god of sickness, has been very active in the world in the last couple of years to get people to believe. And
Very.
people say, well, people are getting sick.
Yeah.
And you go, well, why are they getting sick? You know, what's the cause of this? Is it really a virus, or is it sickness in the mind that's the cause of it? And of course, the flatland ego worldview says, no, it's an external cause. It's got nothing to do with my mind. It's the virus that's doing it. Really? Are you sure? Can you absolutely know that's true? And of course you can't. Can't say, yeah, absolutely 100% no, that's true. So then you have to question the whole belief system. Okay, so happy with number 4?
Yep.
Mm.
Moving on to number 5.
Look calmly at the logical conclusion of the ego's thought system and judge whether its offering is really what you want, for this is what it offers you. To obtain this, you are willing to attack the divinity of your brothers and thus lose sight of yours. And you are willing to keep it hidden to protect an idol you think will save you from the dangers for which it stands, but which do not exist. Alternatively, look calmly at the logical conclusion of the belief in separation's thought system and judge whether its offering is really what you want, or this is what it offers you. So yeah, he's saying again, think again, look, really weigh this up. Do you want this sickness and decay and twisted belief?
Oh, okay. Iona's got cut off in midstream.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. She's back. Hi, Iona.
Are we back again?
Yeah. You just
Hi.
dropped.
Yeah, that's the second time tonight. The connection's not good. I was just making myself laugh because there's a Brit comedian, I can't remember who it is, but he stands there and said, "You're a sick, twisted little boy." And that's what I'm thinking of when, we're talking about the ego. Are you really wanting this? Well, of course you don't want it. To obtain, you're willing to attack the beingness. Oh yeah, to obtain this, you are willing to attack the beingness of your brothers and thus lose sight of yours. It sounds like suicide, doesn't it? It's I'm not only projecting it all out there, but I'm actually irrevocably eroding what's in me. I'm blind to the sight that everything apparently out there is also in me.
You said it's suicide.
And you are willing to keep it.
Yeah, the ego is a death wish.
Yeah.
Wanting to destroy itself.
Yeah.
Which is impossible ultimately, but that's what it firmly believes in. Death is the outcome of all of its endeavors. I mean, what a thought system! Oh my goodness. Eventually, it all leads to death. So all of it was in vain. I mean, one just sometimes you just so incomprehensible that we could have invented something this crazy. Doesn't make any sense.
This guilty.
Just incomprehensibly stupid.
Yeah.
That's apparently what we've done. So we've got to look at it and then be willing to undo it. That's why we're doing this work. Okay, and then the last bit, you're willing to keep it hidden.
And you are willing to keep it hidden to protect an idol you think will save you from the dangers for which it stands, but which do not exist. So the idol is the belief in separation.
So you think it's save you from the dangers for which it stands. And what an insane thought system. the idol is created.
Yeah.
The belief created the dangers. So
Yeah.
and you think it's going to save you from those dangers, it's going to keep you safe, but it's actually that this belief stands for those dangers. This belief is what underpins them, all of the dangers. So how can it protect you from what it's actually sponsored? It's sponsored the idea of fear and attack and danger.
Mm.
So it can't save you from those, it just perpetuates those.
Mm.
Hence, in my defenselessness lies my safety. Okay, well, when I simply deny that there's any danger, then I'm undoing the ego. If I make the danger real and then I go, oh, well, now the ego is going to come and save me by taking all kinds of appropriate defense measures, then I'm just in the illusion that the belief system is real.
Mm. So it's short and pithy, and he's saying, be calm, be logical, do not protect this separation, this belief in separation that is ultimately suicide. And it doesn't actually exist. It's suicidal if you do believe in this idea which doesn't exist.
Willing to attack the beingness of your brothers and lose sight of yours. And to keep it hidden, to obtain this. What's he talking about? Looking calmly at the logical conclusion. Its offering is really what you want, for this is what it offers you. You're willing to keep it hidden to protect an idol. You think, okay, you're very afraid of losing this. Okay, so he's referring to the previous paragraph. This sick belief, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious, and very, very vulnerable. So this is the false image, false self. To obtain this false identity, you're willing to attack the beingness of your brothers and thus lose sight of yours. You're willing to keep it hidden, protect a belief, think will save you from the dangers for which it stands, but which do not exist. So allegiance is to the ego, false belief in separation, this false self-image that is a death wish, causes us all the problems, all the danger, fear, and so on, that it actually stands for. But we think in our delusion that it's going to save us from these dangers. Of course, it's never going to work, which is why the world's been going very, very long time. Very long time, this thought system, and we've got trapped in it.
Okay.
And I'm saying, look, do you want out? Do you want another way? Or do you want to, continue in this madness? Okay, so happy with number 5?
Yeah, indeed.
Number 6, there are no idolaters in the kingdom, but there is great appreciation for everything that God created, because of the calm knowledge that each one is part of him. God's Son knows no idols, but he does know his Father. Health in this world is the counterpart of value in heaven. It is not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love, for you do not value yourself. When you do not value yourself, you become sick. But my value of you can heal you, because the value of God's Son is one. When I said, my peace I give unto you, I meant it. Peace comes from God through me to you. It is for you, although you may not ask for it.
Okay.
Or there are no false believers in the state of perfect love, pure formless awareness, but there is great appreciation for everything that love, pure formless awareness created, because of the calm knowledge that each one is part of it. Love's extension knows no idols, but he or she does know his source or her source.
Yeah, I'm going to stop it there. Let's unpack the first couple. I'm just changing created to extended. Okay, so there are no false believers in the state of love, perfect love, or pure formless awareness, which is heaven.
Yeah,
There's great appreciation.
but there is great appreciation.
Everything that it extended, because the calm knowledge that each one is part of it. Just going to change this. So we've got heaven here, state of pure formless awareness. Oh, perfect. Love / oneness. No limits at all. Experience for eternity. Time has disappeared as well for eternity. So no limits at all. So i.e. infinity. Infinity. i.e. time has disappeared. Okay, so happy with that. That's heaven. So it's a state of being in this state of perfect love or pure formless awareness.
Yep, lotus extension knows no idols, but he or she does know his or her source. Health in this world is the counterpart of value in the state of perfect love, pure formless awareness. It is not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love.
Okay, so just pause it there.
Yeah, it's a bit curious that health in this world is the counterpart of value in the state of perfect formless awareness. Health in this world is the counterpart of value in the state of perfect.
So health is what we get when we reject ego and statements.
Health in this world is the counterpart of value in the state of perfect. So health comes from valuing correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
From a true, this is to worship truly, to give true worship, is to value what's true. So in this world, it's the counterpart of the true value we have in the state of perfect love or pure formless awareness. So it's accepting that value into our minds, and that will lead to health.
Yeah. Okay.
Health, it's the same root word as healing or wholeness. It's the wholeness of mind and the body reflects it. Counterpart of the value in the state of perfect love or pure formless awareness that we truly have. So we start to accept our true value back. We're not valuing a false image. Then health is guaranteed.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you see people who don't, and then they often do get sick. It's quite marked how often that happens. If you're in a split mind, in a separated state, then sickness is ever present.
Yeah. Always.
So yeah, that's a useful line to quote. If you're doing your healing work, Iona and Kenneth, health in this world is the counterpart of value in heaven or in the state of perfect love. To start accepting that value, and health will be the reflection of it in this world. Okay, so number 4.
Yeah. Accept the love.
John, number 4.
Yeah. I've actually read. Did I not? I thought I'd read all these. It is not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love. For you do not value yourself. When you do not value yourself, you become sick. But my value of you can heal you. because the value of love's extension is one. When I said, my peace I give unto you, I meant it. Peace comes from love, pure formless awareness through me to you. It is for you, although you may not ask for it.
Okay. Any thoughts on those few sentences?
Interesting. It's not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love. The word merit, I guess it means my God, my brain's starting to slow down.
Okay.
So it's not skills, is it, or aware or knowledge? My merit.
I contribute to you, but my love. Merit. Well, let's have
My goodness.
Let's have a little look at merit definition. Quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or reward. So the idea of deserving to be worthy of reward, or can be used in the case of punishment or attention. Merit, not my merit, but as a noun, the quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or reward. Yeah, so I think this is what he's saying. Does that kind of make sense? Not my merit. So a lot of people like,
yeah,
Jesus was this outstanding figure. He had such merit. Just the Son of God. Da 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 da. And it's kind of, we pedestalize him, put him up on a pedestal, and go, wow, like just this amazing person, amazing being. I could never measure up. So I don't contribute that to you, but I contribute my love.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. So it's not about worshipping Jesus, going, oh wow, he's so amazing, putting up on a pedestal. He actually just contributes his love.
Yeah.
You do not value yourself.
Yeah.
Comes back to the naming your game and the art of letting go course. That's the whole problem. And we don't value ourselves truly. Got a image of ourselves, which means we're not valuing who we really are.
Yeah.
You do not value yourself, you become sick.
But my value of you can heal you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. My value of you
can heal you.
Jesus' value of you.
Because he represents unconditional love, isn't he? Which is the love of God, the love of pure formless awareness. But I think a lot of people, he's kind of the bridge. It's like, okay, there's actually a figure who was a person who I can identify with as this unconditionally loving figure who can then help us to restore our mind to value, to health.
Yeah. And then he says, it is for you, although you might not ask for it.
It's from the you may not ask for it.
You may not ask for it.
No. So love's going to get you whether you ask for it or not.
Yeah.
Eventually.
He's bringing us to the awareness that we can ask for it because we are love and full awareness. It's in us.
Yeah. Yeah, you think from his point of view, you must be like, oh, I'm just trying to give you love. I'm trying to teach you the value of yourself, and you're just denying it. You're so stubborn. Why won't you listen? Why won't you just ask for it? And the moment you ask, it's given. Yeah.
I think I can hang in for another 10 or 15 minutes, Jono, then I'm going.
Okay, so we got 4 paragraphs. See if we can accelerate things. Number 7, Iona.
2 minutes per paragraph.
Yeah.
When my brother is sick, it is because he's not asking for peace and therefore does not know he has it. The acceptance of peace is the denial of illusion, and sickness is an illusion. Yet every son of God has the power to deny illusions anywhere in the kingdom, merely by denying them completely in himself. I can heal you because I know you. I know your value for you, and it is this value that makes you whole. A whole mind is not idolatrous and does not know of conflicting laws. I will heal you merely because I have only one message, and it is true. Your faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me. Oh,
Okay.
wow. So when a person is sick, it is because he or she is not asking for peace and therefore does not know he or she has it. Does that mean she doesn't know that she has the peace within her? Yeah. Yeah. The acceptance of peace is the denial of illusion, and sickness is an illusion. That's straightforward. Yet every extension of love, pure formless awareness, has the power to deny illusions anywhere in the state of perfect love, merely by denying them completely in himself, herself. So I have the power within me to deny the illusions. I can heal you because I know you. This is Jesus saying directly, he knows me completely. He knows my value. I know your value for you, and it is this value that makes you whole. A whole mind is not idolatrous and does not know of conflicting laws. Jesus is offering to heal my mind because he knows me completely. I know he knows what I am as a whole aware being. I will heal you merely because I have only one message, and it is true. Your faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me. So believe it. This is the answer.
Faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me. So for a lot of people, Jesus is the bridge, the intermediary. It's like, have faith in me because I have faith in you, and I've done this. I've done this for you. I've corrected my mind. I've healed my mind, taken it back to God's source, and I will help you with this. And he's a figure that lived as a human, and so we can kind of go, yes, well, if you can do it, then maybe I can too. And it becomes more kind of personal and real and tangible for people than something like the Holy Spirit. In fact, it's the same presence. It's just expressed through this form of Jesus. Which a lot of people find quite helpful. And then he brings himself into it sometimes. I will heal you, rather than the Holy Spirit will heal you. Only because I have only one message, and it is true. I know your value for you. The key thing here is peace comes from value. Peace comes when you value truly. Conflict comes when you value falsely. If you value a false image of yourself, then you are condemning yourself to continuous conflict, because you have these two selves at war in you, and that's going to disturb your peace continuously. Valuing yourself truly means you have to let go of the false self to make way for the true self, and the true self brings you peace because there's no conflict there. And no sickness.
Yeah.
There's only one self. There's only one belief system rather than two. So you see how
internet connection.
It all ties up, doesn't it? Peace goes along with the one self, just like conflict and disturbance of your peace goes along with the false self. Because by definition, with the false self, you have a split mind. So how can you ever find peace if you're believing in two things, two ideas of yourself that are completely opposed? There can be no inner peace then, not possible. Okay, so happy with number 7?
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on to number 8.
I do not bring God's message with deception, and you will learn this as you learn that you always receive as much as you accept. You could accept peace now for everyone and offer them perfect freedom from all illusions because you heard his voice. But have no other gods before him, or you will not hear. God is not jealous of the gods you make, but you are. You would save them and serve them because you believe that they made you. You think they are your father because you are projecting onto them the fearful fact that you made them to replace God. Yet when they seem to speak to you, remember that nothing can replace God, and whatever replacements you have attempted are nothing. So
Yeah.
I'll turn. I do not bring love's message with deception, and you will learn this as you learn that you always receive as much as you accept. You could accept peace now for everyone and offer them perfect freedom from all illusions because you heard its voice. But hold no other beliefs instead of it, or you will not hear. Love, pure formless awareness, is not jealous of the beliefs you make, but you are. You would save them and serve them because you believe that they made you. You think they are your source because you are projecting onto them the fearful fact that you made them to replace love, pure formless awareness. Yet when they seem to speak to you, remember that nothing can replace love, formless awareness, and whatever replacements you have attempted are nothing.
Okay, thoughts on that?
I love that. Not jealous of the person.
Well, it's a very big statements at the beginning there. You could accept peace now for everyone. If you and offer them perfect freedom from all illusions. So we can give peace to everybody if we can hear his voice.
By your acceptance, you're giving it to the whole sonship.
Yeah.
Whether they accept it, immediately or not is irrelevant. By that peace, you're holding it for everyone and offering them that opportunity. So again, bringing it back to our minds and our choice. Number 3.
Yeah. But it's important to hold no other beliefs, or we won't be able to hear.
Because you'll be listening to the other beliefs.
Yeah. And pure formless awareness has got no interest in the beliefs, the false beliefs that we make. And we fight to keep them because we believe they are us. They are what we are.
So we jealously protect them. Go, no, this is my belief. I don't want anyone to take it away. And of course, that just attaches us to them. Save them and serve them because you believe that they made you. So this is we're getting to the very nub of the ego here. You believe that the beliefs that you made you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, insane. How can the beliefs you made up make you? Who's really in charge?
And he's reminding us at the end here that remember, nothing can replace love, pure formless awareness. And whatever attempts we've made are nothing.
Yeah, pretty simple message. Happy with that?
Yep.
Moving swiftly on then to number 9.
Very simply then, you may believe you are afraid of nothingness, but you are really afraid of nothing. And in that awareness, you are healed. You will hear the God you listen to. You made the God of sickness, and by making him, you made yourself able to hear him. Yet you did not create him, because he is not the will of the Father. He is therefore not eternal, and will be unmade for you the instant you signify your willingness to accept only the eternal. Or, very simply, then, you may believe that you are afraid of nothingness, but you are really afraid of nothing. So, is he saying that I am afraid of, by giving up ego, then there's nothing left?
Afraid of nothing. So the ego says I'm everything, and this, whatever spirit God is nothing, and you're afraid of this void.
Is nothing.
Coming into. But you're really afraid of nothing.
Yeah, because ego is nothing. And in that awareness, you are healed. Simple.
It might
you
be
will hear the beliefs.
Just
you listen.
First one. If you're afraid of no thingness, so actually hyphenate that.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
If you're afraid of no thingness, okay, so there's no there's no thing in there's no form, in other words. You're afraid of.
So it's like no form.
Yes, there's no form, and of course the ego is terrified of that, because form is what it's produced to perpetuate its false belief.
Form is what it has.
But you're really
it's the form of the sick body. It's right.
So it's afraid of
you will hear.
But you are really afraid of nothing. And so this is in the sense of it is actually nothing. It doesn't exist, i.e. You're really afraid of what doesn't exist. So we could translate of what doesn't exist. You think you're afraid of no thingness. I mean, I'm kind of inventing a word there, but that sort of indicates what the ego is afraid of.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, but you are really afraid of what doesn't exist. That's absolutely clear. And in that awareness, you're healed. And you will hear the beliefs you listen to. It's like, if you believe that rubbish, then you're gonna, and you listen to it, then that's gonna shape you. You made the belief in sickness, and by making it, you made yourself able to hear it. So, I understand that. By making it, you made yourself able to hear it. It became resonant. I understood it in the listening and hearing. I believed I was sick. Yet you did not extend it. But you did not extend it because it is not the awareness of source. It is therefore not eternal and will be unmade for you the instant you signify your willingness to accept only the eternal. That in an instant, in a holy instant, I will change my mind, and that sick belief is unmade. Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
I'll give a 30-second summary.
You roll it down a wee bit. Thank you. I am afraid of disappearing into nothingness if I give up the ego. But actually, the reality is, I believe I'm afraid of my belief in ego, which doesn't exist. When I become aware of this, I am healed. And then he's saying, if I believe, I listen to I hear what I want to hear. And I made I believe in sickness, and therefore I heard it. I didn't extend it though, because I am the extension of pure formless awareness. It's not eternal. And the minute I change my mind to accept only the eternal, that idea will disappear.
Okay.
Okay.
Hear that.
Yeah.
Number 10. John, you still with us?
Yeah. Just, if God has but one Son, there is but one God. You share reality with him because reality is not divided. To accept other gods before him is to place other images before yourself. You do not realize how much you listen to your gods and how vigilant you are on their behalf. Yet they exist only because you honor them. Place honor where it is due and peace will be yours. It is your inheritance from your real father. You cannot make your father, and the father you made did not make you. Hang on. You cannot make your father, and the father with a small f you made did not make you. Honor is not due to illusions, or to honor them is to honor nothing. Yet fear is not due them either, for nothing cannot be fearful. You have chosen to fear love because of its perfect harmlessness. And because of this fear, you have been willing to give up your own perfect helpfulness and your own perfect help. Or, if love, pure formless awareness, has but one extension, there is but one source of love, pure formless awareness. You share reality with it because reality is not divided. To accept other beliefs before it is to place other images before yourself. You do not realize how much you listen to your beliefs and how vigilant you are on their behalf. Yet they exist only because you honor them. Place honor where it is and peace will be yours. It is your inheritance from your real source.
You want to stop it there? Just any thoughts on the first half of that paragraph?
Well, let's think. So he's stressing that, pure formless awareness is divided, and to accept other beliefs is to put other images before yourself. Yeah, well, he's also stressing that we don't understand how much we actually listen to these false gods and how vigilant we are on their behalf. And yet they only exist because we honor them. And if we don't value them, then we get back to peace, which is our inheritance.
Yeah.
And we cannot make our source. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, our source made us, but the false images we've made, false gods we've made, did not make us. Did not actually make us. And honor isn't due to illusions. It's interesting that you have chosen to fear love because of its perfect harmlessness.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand really. chosen to feel love because of its perfect harmlessness.
Okay. Well, why would that be the case?
Uh, well, it's got something to do with if we understood its complete harmlessness and its essence, we would be undone. The ego would be undone, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So we fear it because the ego ceases to exist in perfect harmlessness. It needs attack and guilt and sin and fear to perpetuate itself. So it's fearing its own undoing.
Yeah.
So because of that fear, you've been willing to give up your own perfect helpfulness and your own perfect help,
Yeah.
which comes from source. So this is really the authority problem. You'll get into that soon. The authority problem is that we think we made our source. We made up ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And we didn't. No, our source made us, irrespective of what we believe. We are a creation of source.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Number 10.
Yeah, that's good.
One more to go, and then we're done. So, Iona, do you want to take it home?
Only at the altar of God will you find peace, and this altar is in you because God put it there. His voice still calls you to return, and he will be heard when you place no other gods before him. You can give up the god of sickness for your brothers. In fact, you would have to do so if you give him up for yourself. For if you see the god of sickness anywhere, you have accepted him. And if you accept him, you will bow down and worship him because he was made as God's replacement. He is the belief that you can choose which God is real. Although it is clear that this has nothing to do with reality, it is equally clear that it has everything to do with reality as you perceive it.
Well, she just dropped off. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hope she comes back. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to read the alternative.
It's not yet on the screen. There we go. Only in the foundation of love, pure formless awareness will you find peace. And this foundation is in you because love, pure formless awareness put it there. Its voice still calls you to return and will be heard when you place no other beliefs before it. So
Okay. Just
even
pause it there. Yeah.
yeah. So even if I put many gods ahead of pure formless awareness, its voice will keep calling me to return, and it will be heard at some point.
When you place
I
no
will
other
hear.
before it. So this is the letting go. You must let go of these false beliefs in order to hear
Yeah.
it. And I translated altar
As foundation.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how I always understood it. Yeah.
I mean, the foundation
So
of love,
give up the
which makes perfect sense. Only in that foundation. This foundation is in you because love or pure formless awareness put it there.
Yeah, I love that. You could give up the belief in sickness for your fellow beings. In fact, you would have to do so if you give it up for yourself. Yeah, because I and they are one.
So
For
I've translated
believe,
brothers. This one is brothers. So translated brothers as fellow beings.
Yeah, that's good.
Belief. Does that kind of work for you?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Fellow beings, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? Fellow beings, yes. For if you perceive the belief in sickness anywhere, you have accepted it. Brackets for myself and everybody. And if you accept it, you will bow down and give it value because it was made as love's replacement. You bow down as if before a god.
Yeah, and
And
worship.
that will be another, and worship it. It is the belief that you can choose which belief system is real. So he's saying, so if I'm stubborn and I keep believing that I have a choice, then the bowing down before the idol makes it real. Although it is clear this has nothing to do with reality, it is equally clear it has everything to do with reality as you perceive it. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with pure formless awareness, the real awareness. My God, I'm just losing it just finally at the last furlong here. Equally
really
clear, it
good.
has everything to do with the reality as I perceive it, my false beliefs. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all about belief, and a belief makes our reality. False beliefs. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
On that
My
note,
beliefs make my reality. Yeah.
On that note, yeah, shall we close it out there? So well done. That was
Nice.
quite a marathon, quite a marathon session, 3.5 hours.
Wow.
Well done for sticking with it till the end.
Yay. Get a bad
tomorrow,
merit.
let me just 1 moment. I'm just going to check